Astros homestand continues as the division rival St. Louis Cardinals come to town for a 3-game set. Houston took 2 of 3 games from the Redbirds in May behind the bats of Jose Altuve and Chris Johnson. So fire up the grill. Astros baseball is next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros open a 3-game series against the defending world champions, St. Louis Cardinals. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros got a win on Sunday, had the big draft yesterday. Now back to work against the Redbirds, JD.
2 teams that have been struggling. The Astros win, broke an 8-game losing streak. The Cardinals winning yesterday to snap a 5-game losing skid. Their pitchers have an ERA above 6 over the last week. We take a look at the pitching matchup now. It's Lucas Harrell for the Astros tonight, trying to bounce back after a rough one in Colorado. He's 4-4, 4.71 ERA. Garcia, the talented lefty, 3-3, 3.78, but he is winless against the Astros in his career. 0-4 with an ERA approaching 7.
Coming up from Minute Maid, where the Astros won 2 of 3 from St. Louis earlier this season, with Altuve letting it out, with a grand slam from Chris Johnson, and some good work from the Astros pitchers. We'll see what round 2 in the next series brings in just a moment.
Is brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. This is Minute Maid Park. The roof is closed. It is sizzling hot outside, but very comfortable in. Greg Lucas down on the field as the Astros have taken the field. Let's go up to the booth to the men who will call the action, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thank you, Greg. It has been a sizzler again today. The starting lineup now, as you see, St. Louis and Houston for the first of three. For Mike Matheny's Redbirds is brought to you by Hyundai. Redbirds just snapping that 5-game losing streak. They've dropped 16 of 24. It's Rafael Furcal at shortstop, Daniel Descalzo at second base, Matt Holliday in left field, Alan Craig in right field. The number 5 hitter is third baseman David Freese. It's Matt Adams at first base, Shane Robinson in center field, Tony Cruz the catcher, Jaime Garcia the pitcher.
Lucas Harrell works for the Astros tonight. We'll take a look at his last 3 starts. First on May 19th against the Rangers, a win, a very solid effort here against that lineup, and then an outstanding performance against the Dodgers on the last road trip, and then finally last time out Wednesday in Colorado, he got knocked around, allowing 9 earned runs in 5 innings. Defensively, the infielders will get a lot of work. Typically, the outfielders do not, but we'll mention them anyway. Martinez, Maxwell, Bogusevic in the pasture. Johnson, Lowry, Altuve, Wallace on the infield. Chris Snyder's behind the dish, and I mentioned that because Lucas Harrell, an extreme ground ball pitcher.
And he and Snyder have been paired together most of the time this season. Rafael Furcal first up in this game. Switch hitting shortstop at 316. Yeah. And Honora, the home plate umpire, rings it up. Furcal has 68 hits. That's tied for third in the National League. Chris Johnson's in tied on him at third. Slaps that one foul.
And it's ironic because if you were to ask the Cardinals coming into this season who are they most concerned about in terms of injuries, they might say Furcal. He's had a bit of a checkered past injury-wise, but he's been relatively healthy, but they've had a bunch of banged-up players.
They sure have, and key players, too. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Lance Berkman, John Jay, Chris Carpenter among those on the disabled list right now. Furcal, meanwhile, with a 374 on-base percentage, has done a fine job.
Switch hitter hits 309 from the left side.
Little bouncer slowly hit. Altuve coming in, can't make the pickup. Furcal turns and heads for second, and the ball's out there in no man's land. He'll make it. So a little lapse there, allowing Furcal to just keep on running all the way to second base after the ball slithered under Furcal's glove.
And you really can't charge an error on anybody unless you could argue that Altuve should have gloved the ball, and by not doing so, Furcal able to make it to second base, but they were not going to have a play on him in first base, so it has to be at least a single. Perhaps the softest double in the history of the game right here.
Well, it's being ruled E4 is what we're hearing. Yep.
Oh, that's a tough error, man. There's no way they're getting Furcal on that ball.
Now Descalzo bunts foul. There's strike 1. 235 for Daniel, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in.
Man, that's a tough error.
Yep.
Of course, it's been a tougher hit, I guess, to get charged with giving up a hit on this week swing of the bat.
Right.
I think if he bare hands it and he gets him, but by the time he gloves it and then gets it transferred and makes the throw, it might have had him.
Scalzo takes that one. It's strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to the 25-year-old infielder from Redwood City, California.
That's the irony is if he tried to barehand it and didn't handle it, there's no way they would have given him an error.
True. That one's out of play. Chris Johnson going over to watch it go back into the crowd. Keeping the count at 0-2 with Matt Holliday on deck. The Cardinals are 2-5 on this current road trip. They lost 2 of 3 in Atlanta and lost 3 of 4 in New York.
Well, they got no hit by Johan Santana, and then the very next night got shut out. And we're in jeopardy of getting swept in that 4-game series by the Mets until winning 5-4 yesterday. Their bats had gone quiet. The pitching has scuffled.
Lowry goes back to his position after darting behind the runner. There's a little topped ball out to Altuve. This time it's an out. Furcal gets to third as Descalzo advances him 1 out. So he was down in the count with 2 strikes and still got that runner over for Matt Holliday.
Which apparently was his game plan initially anyway, as he tried to bunt to advance Furcal at the start of the at bat. The Cardinals have been very good when playing from in front, so maybe they're thinking just get on the board early.
Well, Holiday gives him a pretty good chance to do that with his 34 runs batted in, including 10 homers and a .276 batting average for Matt. Infield plays back. Holiday has driven in 2 against the Astros in their first 3 games this season. He takes strike 1. The Cardinals went 27 innings in the New York series without scoring a run off a Mets starting pitcher. But they're second in the National League in runs scored for the season with 276 behind Colorado. Good sink there, makes it 0-2 to Holiday.
Situation like this, sometimes Brad Mills will have his infielders crash. Typically you play back in this situation early in the game, concede a run to get an out to defend against a big inning. But sometimes when he gets the hitter down in the count, Millsy will crash the infielders, anticipating weak contact. Like that.
0-2 pitch. Yeah, weak contact will get the run home as it's out number 2. Holiday picking up RBI number 35 for call scoring to make it 1-0 Redbirds. When they score first in the game, they're 21-6.
That was the theory that Jimmy Williams bought into when he was managing the Astros. He'd bunt a lot in the first inning, and then he'd support it by saying, well, when we score first, we win a high percentage of the time. But I guarantee you win a lot more when you score 3 in the first than you do when you score 1 in the first.
Alan Craig in the cleanup spot at .355, had 6 homers, 22 runs batted in, taking strike 1.
How about Lucas Harrell setting the tone early, even though he's given up that cheap run? 12 pitches, 12 strikes.
He just turned 27 on Sunday. It's a 1-1 count. He's 1-0 in his career against St. Louis with a 4.26 ERA. Beat the Cardinals here on May 4th, 5-4. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harrell at home is 3-0 with a 2.31 earned run average. Carlos Beltran with the bothersome knee, sitting this one out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yadier Molina getting a night off. That youngster isn't too involved in who's playing right now. There are more important things.
Yeah.
Snow cones to be consumed.
Good thing he has that in here. If that was outside, that'd just be a pile of goo in about 30 seconds.
Hey, we played some golf yesterday, and we were all a pile of goo in about 30 seconds.
Somebody turn on the blowers.
Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. David Freese on deck.
Cardinal hitters will see a lot of fastballs from Lucas Harrell, a lot of the sinkers. They'll run down and in on the right-handed hitters. Mixing the occasional curveball, change up on occasion to the left-handed hitters. There you go. Give him an extra. Make it a double. Lloyd, load that baby up.
Very colorful. Broken bad liner. Lowry back, and it's over him and into left center field for a single. Alan Craig on with a 2-out hit.
Yeah, but still good early stuff from Harrell. So he's induced 3 weak ground balls and now a broken bat flare. And just beyond the reach of Lowry, actually off the end of his glove.
Angel Hernandez, the umpire at first. He's the crew chief. It's David Freese batting. Freese, a .263 hitter with 10 homers, has driven in 33. Good OPS, 798.
Really, the key to this inning, not so much that Altuve couldn't make the play on the ground ball that Furcal hit, but the fact that nobody was able to track it down after he had to kick off his glove. That allowed Furcal to get to second base. That's why they're on the board.
That was Altuve's 7th error of the year, by the way. Liner to right, Bogusevic backing on it, and he snags it. And it's 1 run on 1 hit. 1 error and 1 left. Cardinals 1, Astros coming up. Card made out by Brad Mills, brought to you by Hyundai. Jose Altuve, Jed Lowry, Justin Maxwell, J.D. Martinez, Chris Johnson, Brett Wallace, Chris Snyder, Brian Bogusevic, Lucas Harrell.
Jaime Garcia for the Cardinals here this evening. The lefty has made 6 starts against the Astros. He's 0-4 with an ERA of 6.89. And here at Minute Maid Park, 0-2 with a 7.08. Pretty talented guy, but he has not been able to solve the Astros. Defensively, the outfield for the Cardinals is Holiday, Robinson, and Craig left to right. An infield of Freeze for Call, Descalso, and Adams. Adams becomes the 4th different first baseman to make at least 10 starts at first base for the Cardinals. You see Tony Cruz in there for Yadier Molina tonight behind the dish.
Jose Altuve at .316 with 3 homers has driven in 18 with a .360 on base average for Altuve. And he has 67 hits. He's tied for 5th in the National League. Garcia delivers, strike 1.
That fastball for Garcia will sit right around 88 miles an hour. He's not a hard thrower by any stretch, but he hides the ball well, has a good curveball, good change. He also has a cut fastball.
Ground ball wide of third. Now it's a fair ball. And that kicks out toward the left fielder now, but Altuve will get into second ahead of the throw from Holiday. For a leadoff double for Altuve. His 14th two-base hit of the year.
Well, it's a different way to get to second base to start the ball game. The call opted for the slow roller. Altuve yanks this one right down the third base line.
David Freese talked with Mark Carlson for a while after this call. Couldn't tell exactly where Freese touched the ball. Now it's Jed Lowry. 68 hits for Altuve. Melky Cabrera with 82 already. Lowry puts a bunt down, but it's foul. There's strike 1 to Jed. So trying to get Altuve to third the way the Cardinals did with Descalso's ground out.
And Lowry saw Freeze back, so he was thinking about a little bump base hit. Worst case scenario, advance the runner game plan.
9 homers. He's the leader among NL shortstops in long balls.
That'll bring Freeze in even with the bag. I'll just do what Altuve did and hit it by him.
Lowry fouls it. No balls, 2 strikes.
Took a shot the other way, fouled it off. Now he's got to do some work down. No balls, 2 strikes. I'll start voting. The first ballots are being reported. Tulowitzki leads the way. No surprise there. For Call, certainly deserving. Castro having a nice year. Jed Lowry deserves to be in the conversation with his performance, but he is not in the top 5, but certainly stacks up. When we talked about it in Colorado, Lowry and Tulowitzki very similar statistically so far this year.
Lowry had a good series against Cincinnati, going 3 for 6 with a double, a homer, 2 runs batted in. Cruz apparently not sure what's wrong with him, as the home plate umpire Brian Onora was talking with him.
I think that foul ball got a piece of him.
Bought him a little time. Justin Maxwell on deck. Lowry takes ball 1. There's a lot of space between the shortstop and third baseman on the left side of the Cardinal infield. And the center fielder Shane Robinson plays toward right center for Jed Lowry. Time called. Hitting coach Mike Barnett was talking about Lowry being in just a very disciplined, nice routine in his game preparation. He said he never varies from it. That's not close, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Garcia was pushed back and given extra time since his last start, May 26th against Atlanta, because of elbow inflammation. He was not in New York, but back at St. Louis rehabbing the elbow. He's 30-19 as a major leaguer. 1 hopper for Call. Positioned perfectly. One out. And now it's Justin Maxwell. JD, 21st round pick. Somebody took the time to make
They've
up.
done their homework.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, J-Max hit the big 2-run pinch homer on Sunday in the Astros 5-3 win over Cincinnati, delivering off Bronson Arroyo. His 4th home run of the season, 3rd as a pinch hitter to lead the major leagues. Turned back towards second. Garcia's velocity down so far in the early going, but he had reassured the Cardinal brass that he was fine to make this start. Maxwell's 3 for 4 with an RBI against Garcia. Chases that one. There's strike one. Garcia lost to Bud Norris here back on May 5th, 8-2, giving up 6 earned runs in 6 innings. Chris Johnson hit a grand slam off him in the first inning. He had walked 3 prior to that. Jaime, 25 years old, from Reynosa, Mexico. Went to Mission High School, Mission, Texas. 22nd round pick by Jeff Luhnow in 05.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups there. He got such a wild swing and miss on that first one. He came back with another one. This is what happened Sunday as J-Max got into that breaking pitch from Bronson Arroyo and hit it halfway to Conroe.
He sure did.
I think it's Conroe's the other way. Hit a long way though.
And there's a strikeout for Garcia. So leadoff double, but he gets the next 2. And it's J.D. Martinez coming up.
Good execution by the Cardinals. Just they went changeup, changeup, changeup. This one they threw a little bit harder. At 84 miles an hour, diving down out of the strike zone. Justin just not seeing that ball well out of Garcia's hand.
J.D. Martinez in the cleanup spot tonight at 244 with 5 homers. Has driven in 31. He is 0 for 7 against Cardinal pitching this season. Cardinals have used only 5 different starting pitchers this year. There's ball 1, but so far Chris Carpenter has been pushed back in his rehab, and last we heard it might be July sometime before he is reinserted into the rotation. Last 5 have been good for JD, 8 for 21. He was hitless Sunday, 0 for 4. Up the middle into center. Altuve's turning around third, heading for the plate to tie the game 1-1. RBI single, J.D. Martinez, 32nd run batted in.
It's safe to say that J.D. is all the way back from that deep funk he had fallen into. Big 2-out knock here. Much needed. I'm going to waste that leadoff double. Takes Lowry and Maxwell off the hook. Gets Altuve home.
He's aboard for Chris Johnson. Ball 1 to Chris, 293, 5 homers, 26 runs batted in.
Good to put a little early pressure on Garcia, too, a guy who has struggled against the Astros. You don't want him to get comfortable. If he's got those lingering doubts in his mind as he takes the mound here tonight, you want to reinforce that. CJ's got very good numbers off this lefty.
5 for 14 with a homer, 6 runs batted in. He looks at that one, ball 2. Chris had a big month of May, hitting .303 with 5 homers, driving in 17.
Been working some walks lately. He's been hitting the ball hard the other way. Doing a lot of really good things in the batter's box.
4 walks in his last 2 games. It's 3-0. Red Wallace on deck. First year player draft continues for another day, and we'll catch you up on what the Astros did in day 2 today. as we go along tonight. Strike makes it 3-1 to Chris. With their 61st overall pick, the first in the second round, the Astros took a shortstop from the University of Florida named Nolan Fontana. And he's been the everyday shortstop for Florida since he was a freshman. He's now a junior, 5'11" and 190. That's ball 4. Another walk for Chris, bringing up Brett Wallace with 2 on and 2 outs. Looking at some other picks. Brady Rogers from Arizona State, 10-3 with a 2.27 ERA. Third round choice. Not known as a hard thrower, but he throws a slider, a change, and a curve very well. Good command. And with the next pick, they took Rio Ruiz, a third baseman from high school, Bishop Amat High School in Covina, California. And then a center fielder, Andrew Applin from Arizona State, with pick 159. Wallace did some hitting on Sunday. Here's strike 1. Brett had 2 hits and he was hit by a pitch, reaching base 3 times in 4 plate appearances after arriving at 9:30 Sunday morning from Oklahoma City. He had hit a grand slam for the Red Hawks the night before. With Carlos Lee being placed on the disabled list and Wallace getting a chance to play first base now. Wallace is 2 for 3 against Garcia. That one came in high, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Jaime.
A good job by Chris Johnson to lay off that 3-1 pitch. We talked about him drawing walks lately. The recognition, realizing when a pitcher might challenge you or when he's just going to be willing to move along and face the next guy. And that was Garcia's game plan after falling behind CJ. So don't do him any favors. Turn it over to Wally and let him drive in a run.
He takes that one, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Left-handed hitters are hitting 290 against Garcia. Right-handed batters 299.
One thing he does really well is keep the ball in the ballpark. He's allowed just 1 home run this year. Only 15 all of last year.
Last year he was 13-7 with a 3.56 ERA. Worked 194 innings. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Barnett has seen improvement in Brett Wallace's hitting since spring training. Thinks he's more fluid now. Fouls that one. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Wally's been the type of hitter who can really drive the pitch away from him to left center field well, but has gotten tied up on inside pitches in the big leagues. Takes that for ball 3, and it's a big 3-2 pitch coming with 2 outs, 2 on. Runners moving on this one.
Garcia having thrown 23 pitches already in this inning, and a lot of them out of the zone.
He's working hard in his return. This is his 11th start of the year. Wallace takes ball 4, and the bases are full for Chris Snyder now.
We say time and time again, starting pitchers vulnerable in that first inning, especially when they're on the road. Not all that familiar with the mound. Struggling to find his release point. Command not there. Big opportunity coming here for Chris Snyder.
Derek Lilliquist out to try to help. Cardinals starting pitchers have had an ERA of 4.67 since May 1st. Overall, their staff ERA is in the middle of the pack in the National League, but much higher after the first month of the season. Now it's Martinez, Johnson, and Wallace aboard. Snyder at the plate. Chris with 3 homers, 12 runs batted in, has a 179 average. He is 0 for 2 against Jaime Garcia in his career.
Pretty good numbers with the bases juiced. 314 lifetime. He's a 229 hitter.
Big breaking ball comes in at 70. Is that a changeup, JD?
Curveball.
Big, yeah, looping curve.
It's a great weapon to get the get over curveball when you got a guy up there who likes to hit it the fastball.
Absolutely. This one skips by. And a run scores. JD Martinez hustling home to make it 2-1 Astros on the wild pitch. Everybody moving up. Cruz turned around and the ball kicked back a little bit, but that's the fear of a runner at third, that it's going to kick right back to the catcher. He doesn't have much time to decide.
The ball appeared to bounce up over the shoulder of Cruz and spike that far out in front of home plate, and Garcia missing the turn to rehab and rest his elbow, but obviously a little bit rusty making this start here tonight. He's all over the place.
It's 2-1 and runners at second and third now with a 1-1 count on Snyder. And this one is blocked by Cruz well enough to make it a 2-1 count. And
I think they gave him a swing. Yeah,
they did. 1-2 then.
Cruz, as he was tracking that ball down, had the wherewithal to check the first base umpire on the swing, and he got the call.
Takes a little concentration. Snyder 5 for 15 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Bogusevic on deck. Now it's 2-2 to Chris. Into left field, scoring Johnson. And here comes Wallace for a 2-run single for Chris Snyder, giving him 14 runs batted in and a 4-run first inning.
And this Astros bottom half of the first inning presenting the argument as to why you don't play for a run in the first inning. Put the crooked number up on Garcia. Good swing of the bat here by Snyder. 2 more come home.
That's an awfully big hit. Snyder coming through on the 2-2 count. Now Bogusevic, the 8th man to bat in the inning, with a 220 average. 172 against lefties. Off the glove, it appeared, of Garcia, and here's the force play by Furcal on Snyder. 4-run scoring on 3 Houston hits with a man left, and after 1, plenty of action in this one. 4-1 Houston.
presented by Kielbasa and Budweiser, is available every Thursday home game, including this Thursday against the Cardinals. Purchase a loaded ticket that includes a field box 2-seat, Astros cap, sausage dog, and value draft beer or soda for just $30. Root now and buy tickets at astros.com/guys night. Also, fans out there, I am looking for a fan of the game. So if you've got a friend, family member, or someone that you know that's out here at the ballpark and may qualify as fan of the game, give me a shout on my Twitter, Patty Smith FSH. Let me know who they are, why they should be the fan, and where they're sitting. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. We go to inning number 2. It's 4-1 Astros. And it's Matt Adams leading it off. Adams starting at first base, 277, 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. 0 for his last 14. Taking over for the injured Lance Berkman. And there's ball 1 to Adams.
Big, strong guy. Had 9 home runs down at Memphis. 32 last year. Their AA club in Springfield.
One and one. Robinson and Cruz to follow. This Cardinal team 3 games out of first place, 28-27. 17-12 within the NL Central Division. Much better numbers overall against Central Division competition. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, that stands to reason the way the NL East has played. All those clubs, 5 of them are at 500 or better in the NL East.
See ya.
Oh boy. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Didn't get the call, but a good pitch though. After all those sinkers away, good idea to run a little 4-seamer up and in on occasion.
Altuve fields the bouncer and throws out Adams. 1 out. The Cardinals are averaging 5.4 runs per game within the division, and just slightly over 4 runs per game against the NL Eastern clubs. Shane Robinson is the batter. 256, 1 homer. He's driven in 7. He's gone 2 for 8 on this Cardinal road trip. Had a couple of hits Saturday starting in center field against New York. Strike 1 to Robinson. Bouncer up the middle and on through into center field. Robinson gets hit number 2 for the Redbirds. He's aboard for Tony Cruz.
Hey, Astro fans, Chevy is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Those kids were telling me before the game that they love that show.
Okay.
It's way better than cartoons. And they said it's not about the score. It's really about the experience is what they said.
The kid with a blue tongue say that?
Yeah.
Throw over to first. Tony Cruz making his 8th start behind the plate at 143, looking for his first RBI. This is the first year he's been on the opening day roster for the Redbirds.
A few years back when you played the Cardinals, if Molina had the night off, you thought, well, we can open up the running game a little bit with Molina not back there. But you didn't feel like you were really gaining that much offensively with him out of the lineup. That's changed. Molina now a really important piece of their lineup. Become a very good hitter.
Snap throw to first. Runner back. Molina is hitting .328, 8 homers, 32 runs batted in. An OPS of 900. So yeah, they miss him. Robinson diving back. The count is 1-1. Pitcher Jaime Garcia on deck. And Garcia is a good hitting pitcher. Go to first by Harrell. Harrell getting a chance to settle in, making his 12th start of the year with the Astros, the 17th start of his major league career. He has pitched some beauties. There's a line shot up the right field line going into the seats. Harrell entered this year with only 83 days of Major League service time. He's considered to be a rookie. One and two. Harrell's third in the majors in innings pitched by a rookie, behind Tommy Malone of Oakland and Yu Darvish of Texas. His specialty is the ground ball out. In the air, Brett Wallace. 2 down. Now it's Garcia. Garcia has 6 hits and 23 at bats. .261 average. 2 runs batted in. He scored 4 runs. This guy knows his way around the bases and around the batter's box. He's a career 157 hitter with a homer, 10 runs batted in. And that one will sneak through into left field for a single for Garcia, and it's first and second, 2 outs for Furcal now.
And Lowry was shaded up the middle a little bit, and his two-seamer running away from Garcia. And he just stays on it and punches it through that open hole.
Furcal reached on what was ruled a 2-base error by Altuve, and he came around to score on a Matt Holliday ground out. So Furcal now has scored 38 runs this year. Furcal from the Dominican Republic. He jumped from A ball to the major leagues with Atlanta. Strike to Furcal. Well, what an exciting time for Carlos Correa. Drafted first overall by the Astros, and he received congratulatory phone calls, we were hearing, from a couple of members of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlos Beltran and Yadier Molina, both from Puerto Rico. And Carlos Beltran didn't know him, but took the time to get his phone number and call him and congratulate him. Foul back.
And hopefully Beltran gave him some advice and said, do what I didn't do and sign with Houston. I regret it. I wish I'd done it. It's the biggest mistake I ever made. Get that deal done and get out and start playing, young man. Boy, what a talented looking kid he is. 18 years of age, 6'4", strong, great feet.
Yeah. You know, the stories about him are fun to read, aren't they? He gets up at 4:30 in the morning. He catches a ride with one of his coaches, an hour and a half to the training facility where he has classes in the morning. Then he has baseball work in the afternoon. 17 years old, 4.0 average, grade point average.
Well, because that's part, you know, when if you're going to hand a pile of money like that to a teenager, you want to make sure you got the right kind of kid.
You bet. Bouncer back to Harrell. Tossing to Wallace. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. 4-1 Astros in the second.
Jordan Schaefer and Jim DeShays at the Whataburger at Highway 6 and West Park Drive tomorrow. They'll be signing autographs from 11 to noon. And while you're there, register to win the ultimate What a Fan experience, which includes an autographed memorabilia, sweet tickets, and a chance to throw out a first pitch. JD, sounds like a lot of fun.
It does indeed. Wow. Hound down a couple of Whataburgers while I'm at it.
11 a.m. to noon at the Whataburger on 3530 Highway 6 South in Houston. It's 4-1. The Astros lead it. And Lucas Harrell comes up. He's a switch hitter. He is 2 for 9 as a right-handed batter. 190 overall is his batting average. Taking strike one. Roller goes foul. No balls, 2 strikes. In the 6th round, the Astros took Brett Phillips, a center fielder from Seminole, Florida. And another University of Florida pick came in the 7th round. Fontana's teammate, left fielder Preston Tucker. And a catcher from UCLA, Tyler Heineman. That one goes foul. And in the 9th round, Daniel Miner, a right-handed pitcher from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So there you have the latest picks. So 2 Florida guys. And the stories before the draft indicated that the talent was richer in Florida than in California this year. Harrell strikes out, number 2.
Well, at the end of the day, well, not at the end of the day, but at the end of the draft, there'll be 40 rounds picked. A whole lot of players will be entering professional baseball. Obviously, not all of them will sign.
Jeff Luhnow and David Godfrey.
Almost all of them you'll never hear from again.
Yeah, that's the rate of attrition from the draft. Jose Altuve opened the Astros first with a double. Takes the curve for strike one. The Astros snapped their 8-game losing streak by winning Sunday. They're 7.5 games out in their division. Line into center field, another multi-hit game for Altuve. He's 2 for 2 in this game, which gives him now 17 career hits in 10 games against the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinal fans, they're going to have to make up their minds who they dislike most, Bud Norris or Jose Altuve. Boy, he went down. That was a good tight breaking ball from Garcia, and he just went down and got it. Really used those legs well. I would hate to play tennis or ping pong against that guy. He would return everything.
You know it. Jed Lowry hit a ground ball right at for call first time up. Throw goes over to first. Altuve just getting hits in bunches this year. That's his 24th multi-hit game. He's second in the National League to Melky Cabrera, who has 26. 4 hits for the Astros. And another throw over. Altuve has 9 steals in 11 tries. Cruz has thrown out 1 of 4 attempted base stealers this year.
And base stealers are 2 out of 4 with Garcia on the mound.
Strike to Lowry. Freeze still not deep at third base. He's going to back up a little bit, about 3 steps.
Those guys on the left side of the infield, in a typical Garcia start, will get a lot of action.
Little looper toward right field. Descalso throws to first, and just in time to get Lowry. Good play by Descalso. Altuve is second on out number 2.
And this breaking ball gets in on Lowry, and he just punches it towards shallow right field. Descalso makes a real nice play. Tough read there for Altuve, the base runner. He does the right thing, though, hesitates and then scrambles over to second, so Descalso really didn't have a play there. His only option was first base, and it's awfully close.
It was close. 2 outs, and it's Maxwell batting now. Maxwell struck out in the first inning. Now, Jordan Schaefer was not feeling good tonight, so he was sent home, but to return by game time was what Brad Mills told the media. Apparently he wasn't feeling all that good Sunday either. So Maxwell gets the call in center field. Maxwell fouls it away, strike one. Justin's hitting .273 against lefties this year.
Brad Mills dealing with a short bench to begin with, including Schaefer would only have 4 position players on his bench. So if Jordan's not able to answer the bell in a reserve role tonight, he's left with Fernando Martinez, Marwin Gonzalez, and Jason Castro. Kind of limits your pinch hitting options.
Bet it does. Turned back towards second by Garcia.
Garcia's obsessing over Altuve out there. There's 2 outs in the inning. He's not likely to be trying to steal third, and understand making sure he doesn't get too big of a secondary lead. Slow him down on a shot to left. You might have a shot at throwing him out.
That one bounces well out in front of the plate.
Similar to the one earlier. That's what I mean. I would, if I were a Lilliquist, I'd be kind of talking to him between innings. Say, hey man, let's focus on home plate right now. I mean, don't forget about base runners, but this is not a steal situation. 2 outs in the inning.
Mike Matheny really handcuffed to a certain extent by the Cardinal injuries right now. One ball, 2 strikes.
If I'm Garcia, I'm starting to think, why would I throw anything but a changeup to Maxwell here with the swings he's had at it?
Yep. And he's been hitting curveballs so well this year. Hit the curveball from Arroyo for the pinch homer, but this changeup is dazzling from Garcia to him. Hammered that one. Goodbye. Justin Maxwell waded back and pulled the trigger on another 2-run homer. Number 5 for J-Max, and it's 6-1.
That's the second home run allowed by Garcia this year. It looked like a lollipop curveball. Lolly on the way in, pop on the way out.
He hits the tape measure shots too.
Yeah, that's getting to be a familiar sight. This little flip away of the bat here, that lets you know he got every last bit of it.
Rattling the train tracks again.
He definitely leads the club in average distance per home run.
J.D. Martinez with a bouncer. Rafael Furcal zips the throw. And the Astros come away with 2 runs on 2 hits. J-Max now with 15 runs batted in. Gives the Astros 2 more, and they lead it 6-1.
1969 that Joe Morgan went 4 for 4 with 4 runs scored. The Astros won 11-6 over St. Louis. On the same day, the Astros selected J.R. Richards as the second overall pick in the draft. That was a very happy this day in Astros history.
Ooh, wow. And now Altuve's 2 for 2. The other diminutive second baseman could be going 4 for 4.
JR inducted into the Walk of Fame on the first game of this homestand. So he got the royal treatment. Descalzo leading it off as a 1-1 count here in the third inning. He rolled out to second in the first to get the call from second to third base. And we'll get our next induction on the 22nd of this month into that Walk of Fame. Fly ball to center. And it will be Joe Morgan. 1 out. Maxwell with that catch. Now it's Holiday coming up next. He grounded to short, and that scored for call. Holiday has a .327 career average against the Astros. 10 homers, 41 runs batted in now. That one jammed him. It's out into right center. Maxwell ranging to his left. 2 outs.
Harrell has set an early tone, pounding the strike zone with his sinking fastball. His hitters have supported him, putting a 6 spot on the board. So he's positioned well now to pitch deep into this game.
Michael Clato is warming up for the Cardinals, a right-hander. Alan Craig's the batter. Craig singled in the first inning. Clato throwing. Craig, a good power hitter, taking ball 1. He's from Mission Viejo, California. Went to Cal Berkeley. He was an 8th round draft choice in 06. Hit .311 last year for the Redbirds. 1 ball, 1 strike. He opened this season on the disabled list after having right knee surgery in November following the World Series. Had a fractured kneecap here last June, running into that low railing outside the right field line. 2 balls and a strike. Bouncer up the middle by Harrell. Lowry cannot make a play from there. He tried it. Infield hit for Craig. He's 2 for 2. Hit number 4 for the Redbirds brings up David Freese. Freese lined to right in the first. David was born in Corpus Christi, went to the University of South Alabama. They strike 1. If the Cardinals can keep Craig and Freese healthy, they can get some very good production out of these 2 guys. Phillies lead the Dodgers 1-0 after 6 in Philadelphia. Cliff Lee on the mound against Chad Billingsley. Strike for Harrell makes it 0-2 for Lucas. Lucas gave up 4 in the first in his last start. Wound up getting tagged for 9 earned runs in 5 innings. In a 13-5 loss at Colorado. That's out to right center. Maxwell veering back toward the bullpen wall. That one is short hopping the base of the wall. And now the runner stopping at third. Craig. That was kind of surprising. So it's a 2-out double. Second and third for Adams now.
Well, Maxwell gets surprised by this ball a little bit too. Freese is a strong guy, and he leans out and drives that one to the base of the Astros bullpen. Justin's first couple steps were in and across as opposed to back. I don't know if he would have been able to catch up to that one anyway. Carried so well. Jose Kenda with a late stop sign for Craig. He's had some injury problems too, and maybe that's why he shut him down right there.
I think so. He didn't look like he was running very well at all. Thought he might score him on that ball with 2 outs. Now it's Adams. Here's strike one. You know, it's so easy to sit up here at our level and look at balls like that and figure the guy should be scoring, but you're right. The third base coach knows who's dinged up, who's not running well, and it's in his hands. That's a shot to center field. Maxwell way back toward Taos Hill, still running up the hill, and that is a 3-run shot.
Wow.
Number 2 for Adams, and it's 6-4.
The big man went where very few go. That is large there, boy. And this one, Maxwell got a real nice jump on it, but it didn't matter. It flew out of here 420-some feet away, straightaway center field, basically, and a backdoor breaking ball. The big fella leaned on it. Big man out of Slippery Rock University. I cheated him. That's better than 420.
Yeah. Well, filling in for Lance Berkman. He hits about the way Lance does in this ballpark, with a 3-run bomb, making it a 6-4 lead, and Lance is there to shake his hand. Lance has hit a few of those.
I think that was Lance Lynn. He's never hit one like that. He got a lot of Lances on this club.
Lance.
Berkman never hit a ball that hard in his life.
No?
Never.
We get our Lances confused. 1 ball and 1 strike to Robinson. Robinson singled to center in the 2nd inning.
How did this happen? Harold was just cruising along.
Yep.
2 outs, nobody on.
Doesn't it usually start with an infield here or a walk or an error or something like that?
A ground ball single. Double bomb, and the Cardinals are right back in it.
Boy, they are. They lead the league in homers. They've hit 68 now. You know, the Astros home run allowed count is really getting up there. It's 65 homers they've given up this season. Only one team has surrendered more in the National League, and it's just been about the last 2 weeks that they've really been rocked by homers. Carpenter, Linebrink, Jay, McClellan, Berkman, Carpenter, Schumacher, long injury list. It's off the bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Shane Robinson. And Beltran leads the league in homers with 15. He is sidelined tonight. So even the guys who aren't listed there are not able to play, some of them. Now, Berkman has a career 425 average against Houston. 5 homers, 15 runs batted in. So Adams is doing his best impersonation of Lance. Foul back. Cardinals have this homegrown depth they can call on. And Jeff Luhnow, of course, at the helm conducting those drafts the last 6 years with St. Louis. The Astros are hoping they will have that kind of flow to the big leagues. And kicks back out on the field. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
For Lucas, you got to just make sure you take your time here. Things were going along nicely for you. Then you start to get cuffed around. You got to slow things down. Keep that delivery tight.
Bouncer off Harrell's glove, goes out to Altuve. Quick throw, and he got something on it and got him. He put everything on that throw, but it's 3 runs, 3 hits for the Redbirds. They've tightened it up. It's 6-4 Houston in the 3rd. Houston. Bottom of the first inning, that tied at 1-1. Then Chris Snyder, a 2-run single after a pair of walks. That made it a 4-run frame. And then the big home run by J-Max, Justin Maxwell, number 5 of the year, made it a 6-1 lead for Houston. And Adams, with his second major league homer, hit a bomb, 3-run shot, 6-4 Astros.
And neither pitchers can complain about giving up a cheap home run. Both those balls really torched. Garcia's night is over. Struggling, and perhaps that elbow barking at him a little bit too. He had missed a turn in the rotation, but the way he was struggling tonight, he did not look like he was 100%. Plato comes in. He was acquired from Seattle. 1-on-1, 4.50 ERA, 26 trips to the mound at AAA. He's a hard thrower, boy. Rush it up there about 98 miles an hour.
This will be the Astros' first look at him. 23 years old, from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Signed as a free agent in 2006 by the Mets. Cardinals got him in a trade, as you talked about, that Brendan Ryan deal. And now it's Chris Johnson. He drew a walk in the first, and that helped set it up for the Snyder 2-run single. CJ has done a lot of slugging, but that walk really figured in a major way to the 4-run first. There's ball 1. Plato was in 3 games last year for St. Louis. Pitched also at Palm Beach, Springfield, and Memphis. He was a starting pitcher most of the time in the minor leagues last year.
We might be impressed by his fastball had we not just seen our oldest Chapman over the weekend with the Reds. Routinely throwing 100 miles an hour.
That one goes in on CJ, lines it to David Freese. 1 out for Plato after Garcia in 2 innings allowed 5 hits, 6 runs, walking 2, fanning 2. AT&T has trivia. Name the 4 Astros who homered against the Cardinals in the 05 NLCS. Well, let's see. Berkman had to be in there, right?
Yeah.
Here is Brett Wallace. Wallace drew that walk and came around to score on the Snyder 2-run single. Although Jeff Kent. There's strike 1. Of the 6 runs, 5 were earned, allowed by Garcia. No balls, 2 strikes.
How about Jason Lane?
Yeah. Okay, I like that one.
How about Mike Lamb?
Wallace is down on strikes. 2 outs for Plato. AT&T trivia. Wanted to know the 4 Astros who homered in that playoff series. NLCS in 05. Astros against the Cardinals. Chris Burke, Mike Lamb, Lance Berkman, Jason Lane.
Burke is out of the game. Lamb, I believe, is out of the game. Jason Lane's trying to make a comeback as a pitcher.
Yeah.
How's he doing? Do we know?
Haven't seen anything on him. He's at AAA for Arizona, maybe. Strike 1 to Chris Snyder. He had the 2-run single in the first inning. We'll have to check. Cleveland leads at Detroit. It's 4-1 in the top of the 7th. Pop up back into the seats. No balls, 2 strikes to Snyder. Cardinals have split their last 18 games with the Astros here at Minute Maid Park. So they've grown pretty comfortable with coming here and playing well. Foul back. Well, the Astros don't go to St. Louis until late August. A crazy schedule this year. August 21st through the 23rd. Cardinals are here already for the second time, and they come back here in late September. The Astros make a trip to September 18th and 20th in St. Louis, so they've got 2 trips in St. Louis before the 3rd Cardinal trip here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Snyder with Bogusevic on deck. Cardinals had won 16 consecutive series carrying over from last season, including the postseason, until they lost one. Line shot left field corner. Looks like a double for Snyder. Picked up by Holiday. He'll take a shot at him at second, and the throw is offline. Snyder's out. Descalzo scrambled around, went to his left to grab the Holiday throw, and then darted back to his right to put the tag on Snyder. And it's no runs, a hit, nobody left.
Holiday got to in good shape. That was the key.
Last year's #1 pick, the 11th overall, George Springer, an outfielder, hitting .291 in 53 games with Lancaster. He has 11 homers, 41 runs batted in, and 13 stolen bases for George Springer. It'll be Cruz, and then the pitcher Clayton scheduled up second, and for call third here in the Cardinal 4th inning. As Lucas Harrell, with the lead of 6-4 now, tries to get a 1-2-3 inning going. Got the first 2 in the last inning, then gave up an infield hit to Craig, a double to Freese, and a 3-run homer to Adams. Astros had the youngest roster in the major leagues right now, an average age of 27.5. They made the decision to go with Harrell for one of those starting spots. It's foul for strike 1. And he's making that look pretty good. Oklahoma City won its 7th in a row last night, beating Iowa 6-5. It was the Red Hawks' 12th straight win at home.
They're in first place.
Yeah, they have moved into the top spot. If they win tonight over Iowa, that would match their franchise record for consecutive home wins. Currently 35-23. Ground ball into left field. Cruz is aboard. Patty.
Well, the Astros are excited to welcome Grammy Award-winning and platinum recording artist Third Day for Faith and Family Night on Saturday, June 23rd. The concert will take place following the 3:05 game, and the concert is included with your game ticket. Tickets for Faith and Family Night featuring Third Day are available at astros.com/third. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Now it's Clado coming up in a bunting situation. Chris Johnson moving in. And he takes it for strike one.
I have no idea how many times the big man has stepped up there in a bunting situation. Probably not a whole lot.
It's a foul ball. Snyder tried to get the out at second, but he barehanded it, and the call was foul by Brian O'Nora. It's a nice play if you can make it, though. It looks like a double play.
And that's really a difficult call for the home plate umpire, but he's the guy that has to make that call. And it looks like he got it right.
No balls, two strikes.
That's tough. It's almost guesswork.
Mm-hmm. This one's bunted foul, and that's a strikeout. Number one for Harrell. Harrell is one of the extreme ground ball pitchers in Major League Baseball. Coming into this game, he had 2.53 ground ball outs for every fly ball. That's fourth in the majors and second in the National League. Furcal is 0 for 2, but he reached on an error and scored a run.
And we witnessed last inning when they get the ball airborne off of them, bad things tend to happen. Back-to-back extra base hits, the double by Freese, the home run by Adams. Jason Lane, we were talking about him. I looked him up. According to Baseball Reference, he is 2-0 for the Reno Aces in AAA in 15 games with a 7.59 ERA.
Okay.
All in relief, so things not going all that well for him.
Runner going, swing and a miss. Snyder with a throw. Altuve has it early, tags him out. Cruz is caught from 2 to 4, and that's another gun down for Snyder, his 6th of the year in 25 tries.
Call doing everything he can to make contact on the hit and run play. He comes up empty. Cruz becomes easy pickings.
So now nobody on base, 2 outs, a 1-1 pitch. That's a strike. 1-2 to Furcal. Washington leads the Mets 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th at Washington. Roll to the right side, and here's Altuve waiting for Wallace to get back to the base, flipping to him for the 3rd out. No runs, a hit, nobody stranded. Middle of the 4th inning, 6-4 Astros.
Jack in the Box. Right now you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo. Buy the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Brake Check. We do it right for less. Back to the booth, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thank you, Greg Lucas. On a scorcher outside. Nice and cool indoors. First of 3 here. Game 2 tomorrow night at 7:05, matching Bud Norris, the Cardinal killer, and big Adam Wainwright. And Game 3 of this series and the finale of the homestand is at 7:05 Thursday night. Jay Happ opposes Lance Lynn. Lynn with 8 wins, tied for the lead in the National League. And his ERA is 2.63. Brian Bogusevic leads it off in the Astros 4th. He bounced into a force play in the first inning. Starting the game against the lefty Garcia, but now percentages swing in his direction with the right-hander Clayton working to him, and he pulls it foul, strike 1.
Bogey up there swinging early. Last time hit a ball pretty well. Off the pitcher's glove to the shortstop, went for a fielder's choice, but hit the ball on a line. First pitch attacking here. And that's going to be his game plan. Try to be a little bit more aggressive. Comes a changeup at 91.
Be interesting to see what Chapman does for the full season. Aroldis from Cincinnati, in terms of the numbers that he has carried to the 1/3 mark and how great he's been. One and two. The Astros very much a Jekyll and Hyde team. 17-12 at home, 6-19 on the road. They go on a 3-city road trip after Thursday night. A drive to right field. If it's fair, this is going to be fun for Brian Bogusevic, and that's a home run. A majestic shot. Number 3 of the season. 7-4 Houston as Bogusevic unloads.
The common theme with Brian Bogusevic is it's in there. He has tremendous power, has not really shown it yet consistently at any level. But when you can hit him like that, you know it's in there. Hey, that's free chicken, folks. Bam!
We'll take care of a few foul come tomorrow. Lucas Harrell takes strike 1. A lot of folks will be heading for their nearest Chick-fil-A with their ticket stubs. Get that free chicken sandwich. Harrell struck out in the 2nd inning.
The masses are being fed. J-Max's home run won them a Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's.
Oh.
So we just need a dinner option here, and we got the whole day covered.
Okay. Seven hits for each club now in the game. 2 balls and a strike. The Astros now have hit 22 homers in the last 21 games, including the 2 tonight. David Wright hit his 7th home run for the Mets. They trail 3-2 at Washington. Strike call makes it 2-2. Yankees all over Tampa Bay, 7-0 bottom of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. Russell Martin hit his 5th. Baltimore is in front 3-2 at Boston in the 6th inning. Harrell strikes out. That's number 2 for Plato.
Well, that'd be a story if Baltimore beats John Lester. He's 14-0 against Baltimore in his career.
Jose Altuve with another multi-hit game, 2 for 2 tonight, but lagging in the All-Star voting, 5th among NL second basemen. Boy, he's got the numbers to support a much higher vote total than that right now. He needs a campaign manager.
Needs a super PAC.
Super PAC for Altuve. There's ball one. Well, he has 69 hits. He's just been dynamic this season. Pops this one up. Adams over. They're getting up about 7 rows back of the Astros dugout. That's where that one lands, and it's a 1-ball-1-strike count. But the guy in the front row gets a carom.
Stay with the play. Don't give up on it. You never know where it's going to bounce.
It's Atlanta 7, Miami nothing. They're in the top of the 7th in Miami. Dan Uggla hit his 9th homer for the Braves. 1-2 to Altuve. That's out into right center field. Descalso can't get it. Robinson lays out, but that's a hit for Altuve, his 3rd straight hit of this game. Robinson made a bold effort.
3 trips to the plate. 3 times aboard for Altuve. Double first time down the third baseline. Now a pair of singletons. First sharply hit. This time a little flare, a little blooper. Well, good things happen when you make contact sometimes. And Altuve, one of the best in the business at making contact. He's on a pace for a 7-hit game the way he's going.
Well, Joe Morgan set the club record. 10 career games against the Cardinals. 18 hits. 3 tonight. 8 hits for the Astros in this game, and it's Lowry batting next. He's 0 for 2. Scalzo made an excellent play to get him. Altuve takes off. Cruz with the throw, bouncing in, and right into the runner. He got him. Furcal came over to pick it out of the dirt and slap the tag on the sliding Altuve. 2 outs.
Well, Cruz got rid of it in a hurry, and that's what saved him. The ball was a little bit offline, but what a heck of a play out there by Furcal on the pick. And then Altuve slides right into it.
Pitch was ball 1 to Lowry. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Jed. Pittsburgh is on top of Cincinnati 7-2 at Great American Ballpark. They're in the 5th. Neil Walker hit his 3rd homer. Casey McGee number 1.
Pirates playing the best baseball really of anybody in the division right now.
That's to right field. Craig back for the catch. And the Bogusevic homer goes high. It hits the foul pole. It feeds a lot of people, and it increases the Astros lead to 7-4.
Tomorrow night, Bud Norris he goes to the mound for the Astros. His miraculous May came to a screeching halt. Those things can happen at Coors Field, but he entered that game 4-0 in May with a 1.17 ERA. He will go against tough Adam Wainwright. That's Mr. Norris to you Cardinal fans. He's 7-2 with a 2.17 ERA and 11 career starts against St. Louis. That's been your Mazda game break, Brownie.
Thanks, Kevin. Fifth inning underway now. Descalzo takes the first pitch. It's strike one from Lucas Harrell. Descalzo has grounded out and hit a fly ball to center. 8 hits for the Astros, 7 for the Redbirds, 1 error for Houston. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Lucas Harrell.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the matchup tomorrow night with Norris and all the success he's had against the Cardinals, and Wainwright, who has absolutely dominated the Astros.
Yes, it is.
Something's got to give, Brownie.
Broken bat liner. Well, Wainwright against Houston is 10-1 with a 1.54 ERA. That's his most wins against any team. You know, we say that all the time, and then both guys get a no decision.
Yeah, it'll be a 9-8 game, something like that.
Scalzo back to the batter's box with a new stick and a 2-2 count. Holiday and Craig to follow.
Big inning here for Harrell on a number of fronts. One, you got to go 5 to qualify for the win. 2, he's got 2, 3, 4 up here, and they're getting their third look at him. 3, Bogey just gave another run, so they've got to come out here and reestablish control. Post to 0.
3-2 now. He missed with another slider down and in on this left-handed batter. And that's fouled away. The Redbirds can be a tough team to put away. There's 784 OPS, the 4th best in the majors. They just keep coming offensively, even though they don't have all their weapons in the lineup tonight. Slow bouncer. Altuve rushes in.
Again, Harrell doing what he does best, attacking that strike zone. Just 15 of his 75 pitches have been balls.
Boy, that's extreme.
But, you know, when you have that kind of movement, you don't have to try to trick people. Like in that instance with Descalzo, when the count ran full, you know, he can just, I'm just going to throw him a 2-seamer, get some good movement, and get him to hit it on the ground, and hopefully hits it at somebody. Or other pitchers might feel like they have to try to fool him with a breaking ball or pick a corner. And when you have that good movement, you can be more aggressive.
Back one to Holiday. Holiday was a 7th-round draft choice of the Rockies in '98. Line to Johnson. 2 outs.
Well, he was out before he even got to start running. Look at that. It's like you're in the sprinter's blocks and they shoot the gun and the race is over. And what happened? Race is over. You lose.
Scorcher for out number 2. Now it's Craig. Craig is 2 for 2. That's strike 1. It's 1-1. Mike Hessman hit 2 more homers last night for Oklahoma City. He's now hit 5 in his last 2 games. He was their player of the month for May. Hit 3 homers in 1 game. Swing and a miss there for Harrell. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hessman's having quite a year. Second in the PCL with 15 homers this season. Broken bat. It rolls out to Altuve. On over to Wallace. It's a 1-2-3 5th inning. And after 4.5, 7-4 Astros. Outs. Justin Maxwell crushed a 1-2 pitch. Hit it high, and there was no doubt about that being his 5th home run of the season to make it 6-1 Astros at that point.
That man hits the ball that hard off you. The only comfort you take is the fact that he didn't hit a line drive back at your forehead.
But the Cardinals got a 3-run homer from Matt Adams in the 3rd. Now it's 7-4 Houston. Bottom of the 5th inning. This will be the 3rd inning in relief for Michael Plato. Maxwell up for the 3rd time. He had struck out in the 1st against Jaime Garcia before delivering that blast. That's strike 1. J.D. Martinez, Chris Johnson to follow in the Houston 5th. Ground ball hit through the left side. Maxwell's 2 for 3. He reaches for J.D. Martinez, who had the RBI single in the 1st. He's 1 for 2.
Justin having a nice night tonight. That's the thing. You don't want to be typecast. It's just a guy who's good off the bench, because then you don't get starts. He's been so good as a pinch hitter. Now with a chance to start a game and having a nice night.
Martinez takes it. There's ball 1 to J.D. This is the 15th start this season for Maxwell. And he had 8 hits and 43 at bats in the previous games before tonight. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike with Chris Johnson on deck. Quite a scene yesterday in the draft room for Jeff Luhnow and all those Astros scouts, front office personnel, as they took what was a surprise pick to many. And Carlos Correa. Martinez swings, and it's 1-2. And the guy they were expected by many of the experts to take, Mark Appel of Stanford, fell to the 8th overall pick by Pittsburgh. And apparently he wasn't commenting to the media yesterday. The story was that he was studying for final exams and getting ready for the College World Series. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's a tough decision. Highly touted college pitcher from a top program and a 17-year-old shortstop who's 6'4" and has a lot of promise. It's a big choice between 2 players like that. And of course, it appeared that Byron Buxton would be in the mix. He went 2nd overall, but some thought if the Astros did not take Appel, it would be Buxton.
I like the pick. You know, and Jeff had mentioned Correa a couple of weeks ago in a conversation and reading about him. And Peter Gammons had fired off a tweet a few days ago after the Astros worked him out down in Kissimmee, saying that they were blown away by what they saw from Correa. So even though the greater baseball world was shocked, I think there's a lot of people around here that thought Correa could be the guy.
Jim Crane.
And I love the fact that, you know, they went out and took that high ceiling, talented, athletic shortstop. Such a demanding position.
Maxwell's going, and it's fouled back. Yeah, I think it was a gutsy pick, but all along, from everything you've read, if you've been following the Astros closely, once Jim Crane's group took over, the ownership, they want to be strong for many years into the future. They want to build this organization around developing their own players. It's more of a long-term, patient approach to take a guy like Correa, rather than someone who could have helped them perhaps much sooner. We'll wait and see. Maybe Correa will come quickly. Maxwell's going, and it's ball 4. 2 men on, nobody out.
Well, the thing I like about it is, you know, there's been so much talk about the Astros and with their, you know, decision sciences department run by Sig Mejdal, and how that they were, you know, going to be very analytical, and they were. They broke everything down, I'm sure, to the nth. But a lot of people thought that meant that they would make the safe pick, and Appel probably was the safe pick. because he is closer to the big leagues. But I love going for the upside. So I think Jeff Luhnow is proving to people he's not just this guy who's going to rely strictly on statistics and computer models. Sometimes your eyes tell you, hey, this kid's a player, man. You got a chance to have A-Rod here. Who knows?
Right. And as you saw, the lefty Sam Freeman warming up. The story today, Ryan McTaggart wrote it, and MLB.com, the Houston Chronicle wrote it, was that the big turn, I think, in Correa's direction came at that workout you were talking about in Kissimmee, Florida. The Astros extended spring training players. Chris Johnson comes up now. He's walked and scored, and he's lined to third. And Correa worked out, and he played against those pitchers in extended spring. And Jeff Luhnow wanted to see if he could turn on an inside fastball, and they had the best pitchers there pitching to him and throwing him some 93-mile-per-hour inside fastballs, and he was ripping the ball. Foul back. So, it's interesting. We talk about decision sciences and all the stats, but putting eyes on the guy, there's nothing like it, JD.
Yeah, well, it's the blend of everything. It's like a recipe. You get all the information you can. You do all your homework. You talk to people. Bobby Heck in his conversation with you the other day talked about how they'll go around to the school and within the community and talk to people who know the kid. Mm-hmm. And not necessarily his best friends or relatives, because they're always going to give you a positive report on a guy.
Kind of like detective
work.
Yeah,
you got to be a little bit of a spy.
0-2. Well, he played in the simulated game, and Enos Cabell was there. He was verifying the story. He swung and missed only once in about 12 to 15 at bats. And he said he chased a curveball out of the zone. But he was able to hit tough pitches inside, and that's what Jeff Luhnow really wanted to see. He was able to gain a lot of confidence in Correa from that. Bouncer goes foul. And then the makeup you talked about. That's important because he's going to carry that mantle of being the #1 overall pick, and it takes somebody who can handle that.
Yeah, that comes with a certain amount of pressure. Being a first-round pick does. Being a #1 overall pick, it's a little bit extra. And the first ever from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. There was one story that he had scored a 1560 on his SAT test. That's probably higher than you and I put together. Brad Wallace on deck. Check swing call. He did not swing. Angel Hernandez with the call. It's 1-2. Jose Altuve, 3 for 3 tonight, is now 13 for 26 in his last 6 games. This is his 4th 3-hit game in the last 6. Strike 3 call. It's out #1.
Just a nasty hitter, bottom of the knees. See it there, #5 at 97 miles an hour. What you can do with that one.
Mike Matheny comes out. It's been a lengthy outing compared to his 2 previous big league trips to the mound this season. For the Redbirds, it's 7-4 Houston. Back in a moment.
of the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 p.m. Central on Fox. Bill?
Well, we hope Jose Altuve will be there. Let's see how it looks. Stan Uggla is leading at second. Jed Lowry could be there. Troy Tulowitzki, who's hurt, is leading at short. It's David Wright, Joey Votto at the corner infield spots. Yadier Molina, the catcher. Outfield spots, Braun, Kemp, and Beltran.
Well, at this point in the season, the voters doing a pretty good job. They always mess it up a little bit.
Sam Freeman was born in Houston, graduated from Hebron High School, made his debut on Friday.
Split time between AA and AAA prior to his call-up was 1-5, but a good ERA of 2.31. 15 appearances at AA, 6 more at AAA for the lefty.
He went to the University of Kansas after 2 years at North Central Texas College. He lives in Carrollton right now, facing Brett Wallace, who has walked and struck out. And this lefty-on-lefty matchup with 1 out. There's strike 1.
A little giddy up on that heater at 93. Also has a slider, cut fastball, and a changeup. Wiry guy. Where's Hebron High School?
Don't know where that is. Doesn't sound like it's close, does it? Have you heard of it?
I have not heard of it.
No balls, 2 strikes. Sam Freeman, who's 24, was a 32nd round draft choice in 08. He was the 965th player drafted that year. Cardinals have had good success not only at the top but at the bottom of the draft. Wallace is down on strikes, 2 outs.
Freeman heating that one up to 95 miles an hour. Hebron's up in the Dallas area, Hebron High School.
Okay. Now Chris Snyder, he's 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. Tommy Lasorda has been hospitalized after suffering a heart attack.
Yeah, that happened yesterday. He was in New York for the draft representing the Dodgers. Mild heart attack. And the last report I heard, he was due to be sent home maybe as early as tomorrow.
Ogusevic's on deck.
It's one of those deals. Yeah, mild if you're not the guy.
Right.
But that is the report. And Tommy said, I do bleed Dodger blue.
Robinson Cano of the Yankees and Matt Kemp of the Dodgers will be captaining the National League and American League Home Run Derby teams.
He probably talked right through anesthesia.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure he's out? He's still talking. No, that's what's going on there.
No balls, 2 strikes for Freeman. Coming in with 2 on and 1 out. Trying to keep the Cardinals within 3 and doing a good job so far.
Chris with a couple of knocks has that average up to 200 now.
Chris really enjoyed wearing those rainbow uniforms Friday night, being a kid who grew up in Houston and followed the team as it wore those uniforms. He takes the ball there and it's 1-2. And the uniforms for next year have been submitted, but we won't see them until the wintertime when they're unveiled. Cruz goes to the mound. Well, Brad Mills was making the trip around Houston yesterday. He was out at the charity golf tournament you and I played in and went around and hit a shot or 2 with all the various groups, and then he dashed down here to be sitting in the draft room.
Yeah, it's hard for the manager to get overly excited about the draft unless he's got like a 10-year deal. And
maybe Jim Tracy, who has a lifetime contract. The signing deadline is mid-July. It's been moved up from mid-August. Snyder's down on strikes. Big job by Sam Freeman. And it's no runs a hit. 2 men stranded after 5. 7-4 Houston.
Aggressive fans of the game. We got a couple guys here who tweeted. We've got Kenton and we've got Randall. And it starts out, they have this great sign for JD. Kenton, go ahead and show us your sign and tell us a little bit about it.
I just wanted to have a funny sign to make JD laugh today. I always just enjoy listening to him make little jokes, so I thought I'd do a little joke for him.
And then on top of that, to entice me down here even more, they brought me cookies. So that's why they actually won the fan of the game. But you guys truly are fans. You're both college guys. You just graduated. Tell us a little bit about why you're such an Astros fan.
Well, I just love coming. I've always been a fan since I moved here in 2000, and we've been there for the good times and the bad times. It's just always fun to be here.
And of course, Ken, this is your dad here, Joel, next to me. Tell about the story you were just telling me about your dad surprising you on opening day.
Yes, ma'am. For opening day, we've been going for 17 years, and then this year was the 18th, and I didn't think I was going to get to go because I was going to college in Kansas, but I woke up one morning and had a plane reservation, and so he flew me home for the weekend, and I got to watch the Astros for opening day for the 18th year in a row, and that was great.
And your memories go, I mean, you're not that old, so you probably your first 5 years or so watching games in the Dome. What do you remember about that?
I remember having to go give Orbit a hug before every game, and my dad always walking me around to find Orbit.
All right, well, one last thing before we go. We've got their Sunday school teacher, Steve, is at home, and while we're sitting here, he literally texted Kenton and said, "Go Joe Namath on her." What kind of Sunday school teacher is that?
The best kind.
I don't know. That's a little suspect. But anyway, these guys truly are fans of the game. They are the progressive fans of the game. Thanks so much, guys. Enjoy. Bill?
Three balls and strike.
Thanks for the shout-out.
Thanks, Ben.
I don't realize I was actually a first-round pick. I slid 20 rounds in the draft because everybody thought I was going to be a nuclear physicist. And they didn't want to compete with that.
Strike call, 3-2. I thought maybe it was a signability issue with you.
Yeah.
What did you sign for?
I had all that leverage of a college senior who dropped 8 rounds in the draft from high school.
He reached and fouled it. What was your signing?
My signing bonus was $1,500.
That much?
Yeah. Some guys talk about the cars they buy with their bonus. I bought an Adidas tracksuit, a little jogging workout thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that negotiation did not last very long. Fox Tracks is brought to you by Steel. We'll give you $1,500. What do you say? Well, could you know?
You should have gotten Scott Boras as an advisor, JD.
Scott wouldn't have taken me. 5% of $1,500 doesn't buy a lot of groceries.
That doesn't pay for his phone bill. 3-2 for Lucas Harrell, who has 88 pitches. It'll be interesting to see how Scott Boras does. I'm sure he won't be hurting after this year's draft. Bouncer up the middle. Lowry over to his left. Throw to first, not in time. Infield hit for Freese, and he's 2 for 3.
Another ground ball from Harrell, but this one up the middle. Lowry able to track it down, but not able to get Freese, who gets an infield hit. Jed probably growing frustrated. There's been a number of hits tonight where if he's cheating towards the hole, they seem to hit the ball up the middle. If he's cheating up the middle, they hit the ball in the hole.
True. One of those nights. Matt Adams ripped the 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2. 89 pitches for Harrell. Nobody throwing at the moment for the Astros.
This big fella here, I think, was a 23rd round pick.
Yes. 09. He was the 699th player drafted. Seems to have worked out pretty well. Foul back.
I think you can find a lot of players late in the draft he went to Slippery Rock from the Northeast or from areas of the country where there's not a lot of baseball being played because guys aren't fully cooked yet. The kids from Texas and Arizona and Florida and California play year round. They're probably more of a finished product, and so it's a bit of a gamble on the guys from the colder states, but they have more room to grow.
Bogusevic calling. 1 out. And that all goes into the scouting. There's a lot to consider. Now it's Shane Robinson. He's 1 for 2. I would think what might have hurt Byron Buxton, just from reading the articles about him, was the level of competition for him. And according to the stories, he did not play in a lot of the, competition against the top players around the country. He played in, I believe it was a AA category in the state of Georgia. So it's tough to project sometimes when a guy's not in there against that top competition. Bouncer goes foul. It doesn't mean that he can't be one of the best players, certainly. The tools.
Twins, obviously, they took him number 2 in the whole country, so
didn't stop them.
Yeah, they weren't worried too much about the competition.
One ball, one strike.
Well, maybe the Braves had told the kid. Maybe the Braves are trying to hide him like they did with Hayward. Trying to limit his exposure so they could draft him.
Maybe. The appeal goes to first. Angel Hernandez rings it up as a swing. It's 1-2 on Robinson. Atlanta bombed Miami 11-0. Tim Hudson winning. He's 4-2. Anibal Sanchez, the loser, he's 3-4. Dan Uggla hit a couple of homers to give him 10. Harrell slowed it down a little bit. Here's Altuve tossing to Lowry. And that's out number 2. Hill stuck his glove up and the ball carried him a little bit higher.
Robinson bangs that 2-hopper up the middle. The fact that there's a man on base cost him a base hit.
Time for a look at our Brown Hand Center. Great hands of the game. Fred Wallace there, and here are the hands of Chris Snyder throwing. Altuve tagging Tony Cruz. And now as Cruz comes up, he's 1 for 2 in this game. In the dirt for ball 1.
Carroll due to bat second in the bottom half of the inning, and he's approaching 100 pitches, so this may be it for him.
Carlos Beltran on deck. Pitcher spot due up next for the Redbirds. And they have a pitcher warming. 96 pitches for Harrell, 75 have been strikes. Very high percentage of strikes. Lowry over to Altuve for the force. And it's no runs, a hit and a man left, middle of the 6th inning, 7-4 Houston.
For the next Flashback Friday on June 22nd as the Astros host the Indians, featuring the 1970s rainbow jerseys on the field. 10,000 fans will receive a Craig Biggio Greatest Moments bobblehead courtesy of Coca-Cola. And after the game, all fans can enjoy Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. Buy tickets at Astros.com. Guys?
That's the night Joe Morgan will be throwing out the first pitch. Look forward to it. Interleague play with the Indians. Thanks, Patty. 7-4 Houston. And the fact that Cruz was at the plate when the final out was made means Freeman is back on the mound. Freeman came in, struck out Wallace and Snyder with 2 men on to end the 5th inning. Michael Plato in 2 1/3 gave up 4 hits and 1 run. He walked 1 and fanned 3. Going back to Garcia's line, we mentioned the official score announced 6 runs, 5 earned. That's not right. It was 6 earned runs. And now it's Bogusevic leading it off in the home 6th inning. He ripped a towering home run off the right field foul pole in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Lucas Harrell on deck. There is warm-up action for the Astros in the bullpen. And it's ball 1.
Yeah, with a short bench, there's a pretty good chance Harrell takes this at bat regardless of what Bogusevic does. And they could still make the pitching change. Save a bench guy, and it would also allow Brad Mills to get a look at Mike Matheny and see what he's going to do with a pinch hitter for Freeman or whoever finishes this inning on the mound, unless there's a double switch.
Bogusevic out to right center field. Craig on the run. Craig leaping and making the grab. Nearly extra bases for Bogusevic, but Alan Craig takes care of out number 1.
Nice to see Bogey get this lift, though. He hits the ball on the ground a lot, and that's what's neutralized his power. He's certainly strong enough to hit the ball a good long way. We saw that last time up, and again, another bid for extra bases, and Craig able to track it down.
Good effort by Craig. Now with 1 out, it's Harrell. He has struck out both times tonight. Altuve on deck. Strike for Harrell. It's 0-2. Wesley Wright's warming up for Houston. Chad Billingsley and the Dodgers got 2 in the 8th and beat the Phillies 2-1, beating Cliff Lee. Kenley Jansen got his 8th save. So Lee is now 0-3 despite a 2.92 ERA. Harrell strikes out.
Good heater there by Freeman, his 3rd punch out. Hey folks, don't forget about this. You can email the booth, foxsportshouston.com, link to the Fox Sports Game Connect, and then ask the broadcast team. Brownie and I will handle your questions. We typically do that on Wednesday, so maybe tomorrow, but maybe Thursday. Anyway, we look forward to your questions.
Jeff Luke hope that he will, so we may move that back to Thursday, depending. Altuve's 3 for 3. Here's strike 1. Altuve has 1 4-hit game this season. That was at Milwaukee, April 25th. But now he's had 4 3-hit games in his last 6. This one up the middle and diving for call, unable to stop. Hit number 4. Altuve wants a double. Here's the throw from Robinson offline, and he hustles it into a 2-base hit.
Play the game, little man. They love it.
4 for 4 tonight. 2 doubles, 2 singles for Altuve.
He has superpowers. I went and saw the Avengers today. He should join that group. He could be the hitman. Just great hustle as Robinson has to go over and play that on the backhanded side. Never gave up on it immediately. Look at the break out of the box. He's sniffing 2 all the way. It's a good play even if he's out. 2 outs in the inning. That's the time to gamble.
Second 4-hit game of the year for Altuve. He's the club leader in total bases and in doubles with 15. It's Lowry 0 for 3, looking at ball 1. 15 doubles in the top 10 in the league. Some kind of a season for Altuve.
Lowry's been better from the left side this year. That keeps Freeman in the game for at least 1 more at bat.
It's 1-1. Altuve leads all major league second basemen in batting average and hits.
Great pitch there by Freeman. Sometimes you don't get that call because the catcher's favoring the inside part of the plate and has to reach back to get it. And that was a good pitch.
Altuve tying his career high with his second 4-hit game of this year. The Astros have 10. Maxwell's on deck.
You know, Charlie Manuel might be the manager of the year in baseball this year.
How so?
Well, because they're a 500 club, and you think, well, that's not very good with all the winning they've done over there. But when you consider the circumstances with the injuries,
right?
Utley, Howard, Halladay, Cliff Lee hasn't won yet. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
But they're still 500, or just a game below now.
3 balls, 1 strike. Brad Mills' club fell behind 1-0, got 4 in the first, and has led ever since, but it was 6-4 after 3. And now 7-4. Lowry swings, and it's 3-2. Victor Marte warming up for St. Louis. This Cardinal bullpen beleaguered this year to the tune of 4 wins, 10 losses, a 4.43 earned run average, next to last in the league. 9 saves, 18 save opportunities for the Redbirds. But they had a bad save ratio last year in the first half and got it together and won it all. Still 3-2.
Really make the case that the Cardinals didn't necessarily have a really good year, but they had a couple of great months and very important ones, September and October.
They wound up winning 90 games. Popped Popped up behind the plate and back out of play.
Look out, folks.
Oh, it bounced right above us into the upper deck. Those folks had a golden opportunity and they muffed it. It's going to be a long walk to their automobiles after this game tonight, JD.
Yeah, I think they just gave up on the play a little too early.
Yeah.
Just assumed it wasn't going to land in this section. We just never see them land directly in front of us here.
Now they're pointing fingers, not at each other, where the ball went. High chop. Here's Freeman throwing and throwing it away. Altuve will score to make it 8-4. Lowry into second base. That ball was in the air for a while, and Freeman controlled it, but he flung it by the first baseman, Adams.
Yeah, he would have been better off eating that one. The Astros will take a little charity right off of home plate. A big high bouncer. Freeman gets to him in pretty good shape, but if he does everything just perfectly, he might get Lowry. The throw is inside the line. Adams can't get it. Altuve trots home.
It's ruled an error all the way. And now Mike Matheny has gone to the home plate umpire, so it appears he has a double switch in mind. And he is bringing a player off his bench heading for the outfield. It's Adron Chambers. It's 8-4 Houston. Back in a moment.
MLB on Fox is proud to support Boys and Girls Club of America, a place where you can reach the full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfeatures.org/Fox Sports. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. We have a double switch for Mike Matheny. Adron Chambers is in the number 9 spot in the order. He's the new center fielder, replacing Shane Robinson, who was 1 for 3. And the new pitcher is Victor Marte. He is pitcher number 4 for Matheny, with no decisions and an ERA of 4.01, and he will go into the number 7 spot in the order.
See Marte's home road breakdown. For whatever reason, he's been a lot better on the road. I'm assuming that's just coincidental. Probably had a couple clunkers there in St. Louis, leading to that high number. Came up with the Royals, had a little time with them in 2010, and then did not appear in the big leagues last year. Fastball, slider, split finger pitch, and he'll sit right around 93, 94 miles an hour with that heater.
Justin Maxwell is 2 for 3, a 2-run homer in the second for J. Max. That's strike 1. 8 runs on 10 hits, 1 error for the Astros, 4-8-1 for the Redbirds. Cardinals have stranded 4. The Astros have left 3. Astros have played better than .500 ball within the division. They're 11-9. They're 8-3 at home against the NL Central teams. Last year the Cardinals went 10-5 against Houston. 5-3 here at Minute Maid. Maxwell looks at it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. JD Martinez on deck. Maxwell's 28, born in Bethesda, Maryland. Went to the University of Maryland. 4th-round pick of Washington in 2005. And he was traded to the Yankees last year, and the Astros claimed him on waivers this year. He was at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre all season last year and had June surgery on his right shoulder. Cruz and Marte getting together. That next road trip will begin for the Astros in Chicago. They'll be playing the White Sox over the weekend and then move on to San Francisco for 3 and wind up in Texas for 3. Hit foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hearing rumors that in interleague play, the schedule next year will pit the AL West against the NL Central. Strikeout for Maxwell, but he might reach. Here's the throw from Cruz. Adams caught it, and he somehow picked it out of the uniform of Maxwell and made the play for the strikeout from 2 to 3. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. 8-4 Astros.
Is brought to you by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient, affordable, stylish, and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. Well, Harold's night is through. It was a good one. He's on the winning side right now. To tell you more about the changes, here's Bill Brown.
Thanks, Greg. 8-4 ball game. The Astros lead it. There was a strikeout of Maxwell. He almost reached, but here's the throw from Cruz coming from right to left, and Matt Adams stayed with it as that white baseball came out of that white uniform shirt of Maxwell, and he caught it. Complete the strikeout.
Cruz did not have much of an angle to work with there, but he didn't have a lot of time to create one. So good accurate throw, good play by Adams, and now it falls to Wesley Wright and the rest of the bullpen to preserve this lead for Lucas Harrell.
Lefty on lefty is Adron Chambers. Leads it off, takes strike one. Chambers entered the game in the double switch. He's hitting .294 with 1 RBI, batting ninth, and he has had 5 hits and 17 at bats with the Cardinals. That one goes out of play, and it's an 0-2 count to Chambers. Sam Freeman in 1 1/3 innings allowed 1 hit, 1 run, no earned runs with no walks. He struck out 3. And Lucas Harrell in 6 innings allowed 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, no walks, 1 strikeout.
Lucas Harrell, he's the ultimate pitch to contact pitcher, boy. He doesn't strike many out, and typically doesn't walk many. Looks like he still wants to find a game somewhere. Got his glove on, still ready to go. Good solid effort from Lucas here tonight.
97 pitches, 76 strikes. Another foul ball, and all the foul balls have come outside third base as Wesley Wright works to Adron Chambers. Wesley's done a very nice job against left-handed hitters. This is his 29th appearance. Little chop goes back to him. 1 out. Friday night, Jay Bruce homered off him, but lefties are hitting only 167 off him this year for a 6 for 36 performance. Rafael Furcal's the batter. 0 for 3, but he scored after reaching on an error in the first. That was the unearned run allowed by Harrell, who could be a winner for the 5th time this year. Rip foul. Furcal right on that pitch.
Furcal hitting .333 from this side of the plate. Previous at bats, of course, off Harrell came as a left-handed hitter. He buggy whipped that one. Three of his 4 home runs have come from the right side as well. Far fewer at bats.
1-1 to Furcal. Bounce to Wallace. Lead toss to right. 2 outs. Daniel Descalzo is up next. He's 0 for 3 in this game. Even though Wesley Wright wasn't playing golf yesterday, he made a visit to the Tommy Bahama Charity Golf Classic out at the Woodlands just to say hello to a lot of folks. Matt Holliday's on deck. Bounce foul. I was kidding him, JD. I said, make sure you don't use your left arm in any capacity today, because he's had a lot of appearances here. And usually it's 1 or 2 batters. In this game, it would be 3 at least if he can get Descalzo. Nobody warming up at the moment. 1 ball, 1 strike, but that's a lot of up and down in the bullpen, too, even though he's only facing 1 batter. Brett Myers, David Carpenter watching.
Well, the bullpen went through a tough patch. You know, anytime you go to Colorado, you're asking for trouble, and then a 4-game series, including a doubleheader, puts a little extra pressure on the pitching staff, and the starters have been scuffling a little bit. That created more need for more innings from the relief corps. So, you know, this is an opportunity to kind of settle back in. You got through the Rockies, got through that Reds club, a day off yesterday.
Still 1-2 on the foul ball. 18,911 the attendance tonight. 2 more games remaining on this homestand coming the next couple of nights at 7:05. Tomorrow night it's Bud Norris and Adam Wainwright. Thursday night it's Jay Happ and Lance Lynn. After that game, the Astros head for Chicago to meet the White Sox over the weekend. Hope you'll join us. 6:30 airtime for Astros Live both the next 2 nights. Struck him out. Wesley Wright has a 1-2-3 7th. This game goes to the 7th inning stretch with the Astros in front by 4, 8-4. Heart of Texas. And the Astros have grabbed the lead ever since they scored 4 in the first inning. They trailed 1-0 briefly after 1/2 inning. J.D. Martinez bats here in the home 7th inning. He had an RBI single to tie the game in the first. That came with 2 outs. This one goes to shortstop. Rafael for call. 1 pitch, 1 out for Marte. And it's Chris Johnson coming up. CJ 0 for 2 with a walk. He scored a run in that 4-run first. Andy Pettitte won for the Yankees 7-0 over Tampa Bay. He's 3-2 with a 2.78 ERA. He beat James Shields. High to left center field. Back toward the archways. Chris Johnson has banged one off the wall. He's into second base with a double. His 11th two-base hit. Couldn't tell if that would reach over the yellow line or not.
It's a majestic, towering double off the wall. But boy, off the bat, it sure did look good. Maybe count it down towards the end a little bit, but that's a home run swing. And if he pulls it a little bit, he's got a home run. If he puts a little more juice, one more taco for lunch, and he's probably rounding the bases. To settle for a measly double, his 11th this year.
Hit number 11 for the Astros as well. And Brett Wallace has struck out twice and walked. He scored a run in that first inning. Chris Snyder on deck. In tight for ball 1.
Plato beat him with a hard slider down and in his second at bat of the game, and then Freeman punched him out with a good low fastball in. You see they're trying to work him hard in there, at least initially.
That one almost hit him. 2-0 to Wallace.
And we talked a lot about this last year with Brett. It's a continuing theme. Can he handle the inside fastball? And a lot of times it's just a matter of don't swing at it. Because a lot of times when they try to crowd you with that heater, it's not a strike.
Right.
Just be patient and force the pitcher back out over the plate and then inflict some damage on him.
Liner over first, ahead up the right field line. That'll score Johnson. Wallace heads for second base. It's 9-4. A double for Wallace, giving him his first RBI with the Astros this year. Hit number 12 for Houston.
They had a big walk in the first inning with 2 outs in advance of the 2-run single by Snyder. Now this RBI double doesn't crush it by any means. But again, they're trying to go in on him on 2-0, and he got enough of the barrel on it and was able to keep it fair.
Back-to-back doubles by Johnson and Wallace, and now it's Snyder. 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in on that first inning single. Marte replaced Scott Linebrink. Linebrink was hurt. There's strike 1. Marte was at Memphis last year. He had been in the big leagues with Kansas City the 2 years prior to last season. Signed by the Royals as a free agent in 2000 from the Dominican.
He spent 3 or 4 years on the disqualified list, and then he went to Japan to pitch. I'm not sure what the disqualification was all about.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
I think it was an identity type thing.
Okay. Cleveland beat Detroit 4-2 in the Motor City. Ubaldo Jimenez the winner. Drew Smiley lost it. Chris Perez got his 18th save. 18 already. Strike to Snyder, and that's out number 2. Second strikeout for Marte. Here's the 4th inning at bat for Brian Bogusevic. And a Chick-fil-A home run.
Yeah, it was fun to replay there. You saw the pitcher, Plato, trying to wave it foul.
And Bogey hit the ball pretty well last time up, and Alan Craig caught it in right center field. Strike 1 to Brian.
Split finger pitch there from Marte. Bogusevic's been swinging early tonight, so he didn't want to attack him with that first pitch fastball. Fooled him with the splitter.
Out to left center. Chambers for the 3rd out. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left for the Astros. After 7, Houston leads 9-4. Presented by Chevron, and we look at career ERAs and records against the opponents. Adam Wainwright 10-1 lifetime against Houston with a 1.54 ERA. Bud Norris 7-2 with a 2.17 lifetime against St. Louis. Tomorrow 6:30 for Astros Live on FS Houston.
So that means the over-under for tomorrow's game should be about 4 runs.
Big Adam, 6'8" right-hander. Along with Kyle Loesch. And their club trailing 9-4 as Wilton Lopez comes in with a 3-0 record. His ERA is 2.43.
Wilton worked an inning in Sunday's win over the Reds. He allowed 2 hits and a run. He threw 30 pitches in that game for his 1 inning of work, and that's uncharacteristic. Typically goes in there and gets 3 quick outs, uses about 8 pitches.
First pitch here to Holiday's ball 1. Wesley Wright worked a 1-2-3 seventh with a strikeout. Craig and Freese due to follow in an all right-handed hitting inning. If he gets the first 3, then Adams, a left-handed hitter, would follow if they can keep it going. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Astros have not been doing a whole lot of winning lately, and I think Brad Mills doesn't want to take any chances. So even though he's got a 5-run lead here in the 8th, he is leaning on Wilton Lopez to give him a scoreless inning.
It's 1-2. Kansas City beat Minnesota 1-0 in Kansas City. Bruce Chen won that one to square his record at 5-5, beating Francisco Liriano. Jonathan Broxton got save number 14. Good sink on that one. Holiday strikes out. Strikeout number 3 for Astros pitchers.
Turbo sinker here from Lopez.
Alan Craig has 2 of the Cardinals' 8 hits. He's 2 for 3. San Diego just got 2 in the bottom of the 2nd off Tim Lincecum to lead San Francisco 2-0. Still batting in that inning. Craig takes ball 1. Carlos Quentin hit his 4th. He's making up for time on the DL.
Don't have that many ABs.
Not many at all. He's come out rolling after his injury.
Tim Lincecum brought a 5.95 ERA into this game tonight. He was a mess.
Mitchell Boggs warming up. Well, it's probably officially time to panic then with him, right?
Yeah, I would say.
Early June with an ERA that high. Lowry. 2 outs. And now Freese. Freese is 2 for 3. Arizona 4, Colorado nothing. Bottom of the 3rd in Arizona. Aaron Hill hit his 6th. Jason Kubel number 5.
Cubs are thumping the Brewers 8-0. Bottom of the 8th in Milwaukee. Soriano, he's been swinging it well. He hit his 9th, and LaHare hit number 11. He had kind of cooled off.
Apparently Soriano's going to DH in interleague play. They will not call up the young first baseman. There's a throw by Lowry. Rizzo for the Cubs. That's a 1-2-3-8. Good relief work for the Astros, keeping them in the lead 9-4.
Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Astros out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Astros.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball is everywhere. Bill Brown?
Yes, it is, Patty, and we're so glad it is. Well, this is going to be, I think, a very unusual year. You know, some teams like Baltimore out of the gate, surprisingly good compared to expectations. I just feel there are going to be a lot of weird twists and turns, and strange things are going to happen this year, especially with those 2 wild cards in each league, JD.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen. You know, last year we thought everything was kind of wrapped up at the beginning of September, and it went haywire. There's all kinds of crazy things, including the Cardinals coming from well off the pace to knock off Atlanta. And Mitchell Boggs a part of that, and so far this year he's 0-1 with a 2.28 ERA through 23 appearances. League hitting just .214 against him, averaging about a strikeout an inning. He's a sinker baller.
He'll face a pinch hitter, Fernando Martinez. Batting for the pitcher, Wilton Lopez, who had a 1-2-3 8th inning with the strikeout included. Fernando just joining the Astros. He went 0 for 4 in Sunday's game in his second start in right field. Recalled on Saturday to replace Travis Buck, who was placed on the disabled list. And he was hitting .319 at Oklahoma City. He is 1 for 9 with 2 runs batted in with Houston.
And Boggs characterizing him as a sinker baller, probably not accurate. He's a power guy who sinks the ball. You know, when you think sinker baller, you think of a Rick Russell or a Randy Jones type. A real hard thrower, but this guy is. This guy throws 96.
No balls, 2 strikes for Boggs after Marte in 1 1/3 innings allowed 2 hits and 1 run with no walks, 2 strikeouts. Astros pinch hitters hitting .296. Foul ball there. 4 homers, 13 runs batted in from Astros pinch hitters with 24 hits and 81 at bats this year. Altuve is on deck, trying to become the first Astro to get 5 hits in a game since Hunter Pence, May 27th, 2008, against the Cardinals. 1-2. Boggs is pitcher number 5 for Mike Matheny. They're in the 11th inning in Washington. It's the Mets 5, the Nationals 5. Good battle there. Bouncer up the middle for call in. And over to first, low throw, safe. It wasn't held by Adams. Martinez is aboard. Ruled an error on Furcal, his 5th.
Call on the run. Short hop throw to Adams, and he can't bail him out. It's a play where the shortstop gets the error, but for me, the first baseman should have been able to pick that one.
Yeah. It was a tougher play for right-handed thrower at first. But still. Altuve 4 for 4.
I mean, I wouldn't argue with the score. That's why it's always going to be scored that way when the throw's in the dirt. But that's not a tough ball to pick.
Right. Bouncer for call. Stepping on second, firing to first, double play.
Call was going to make any mistakes with this throw. He hummed it over there at about 92.
He did have something on that. So for the first time, Altuve makes an out in this game. And in fact, he makes 2 of them. Now Lowry's the batter. He's 0 for 4. Strike 1 to Jed. Well, he's had that picture book swing from this side of the plate. Nice uppercut. He's hit .305 as a left-handed batter. And he has slugged .519 as a left-handed batter. He made an adjustment with the position of his head in spring training and before that. And it just really made a world of difference. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's remained consistent from this side of the plate this year. With Boston, he was much better as a right-handed batter. One and two. That didn't look like the usual Lowry swing that time.
Because usually he's getting pretty good contact on that heater.
Yep. He had a little bit bigger, loopier swing on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals have had a rough road trip. They're 2-5. Check swing roller. This could be a hit. Barehanded. Freeze with the throw and safe at first. Lowry's aboard with an infield hit.
And just a little, excuse me, half swing roller down the third base line. Well played by Freeze. And Lowry beats the wrap. Whether Adams had complete control or not, I'm not so sure, but it doesn't matter because Lowry beat it.
That's hit number 13 for the Astros. Now Maxwell. Whoa! He is drilled by that pitch. And Brad Mills, Rex Jones come out.
I'm not so sure if Boggs didn't take a shot at him. He was down around the legs.
Yeah, I think.
But they may be taking a little umbrage at the way Jordan throws that bat, or Justin throws the bat after the home run.
Well, that was my thought too. Yeah,
it's a two-seam runner.
We can say things look intentional. That to me looked intentional. But let's see.
Smart
around the left knee. It just looked like that's what he wanted to do. Yeah, the bat flip might have brought that response.
Yeah.
So runners at a runner at first and 2 outs. Well, first and second and 2 outs for J.D. Martinez now. Here's a bat flip.
Yeah, I mean that's just it's. A lot of guys do that.
Right.
Some guys feel it's showmanship and they're showing you up, especially when you hit a big one like that. I mean, back in the day, that would almost always have carried some kind of a response. But players get away with a lot more.
They do
in today's game.
A lot more theatrics.
Yeah.
There's an article in USA
Brett
Today.
Boone was the worst, man. He had that big, exaggerated.
Yep. Yeah, if you were not supporting Brett Boone's team, you probably wanted him drilled the way he flipped the bat after he hit the ball out of the park. He just had that kind of body language if you were rooting for his opponent. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, even Reggie Jackson talked about it in an article recently about the body language the players carry these days.
That is the ultimate irony, isn't it? Reggie calling out players for showboating? You got to be kidding me.
Well, and I think his point was, if you've done something, you've been around the game for a while and done a lot of great things, then maybe you have that luxury. If you've been in the big leagues for 10 days, it's probably not anything Reggie wants to see.
But showing the other team up, whether you've been there for a week or 10 years, it doesn't matter to me.
No. After 8, 9-4 Astros.
Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today.
It's 9-4. Houston leads it. David Carpenter comes in with the 5-run lead from the Regulators group in the bullpen. And the Regulators have retired 6 in a row in relief of Lucas Harold tonight. Wesley Wright with 1 inning. And Wilton Lopez with 1. Now it's Carpenter. JD.
Lopez having a more typical Wilton Lopez 1, 2, 3 inning through 7 or 8 pitches to get it done. And 6 up, 6 down for the pen so far. Now David Carpenter. He works for the 18th time. 0-2, 4.12 the ERA.
David coming from the Cardinals in the Pedro Feliz trade to the Astros. Matt Adams first up. Adams hit a 3-run bomb in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3 in this game. The Astros lead it by 5, and they've out hit the Cardinals by 5, 13-8. 2 errors for St. Louis, 1 for Houston in game 1 of a 3-game series. The pitcher spot is due up next for the Redbirds. That's a liner into center field. Adams right on that pitch, and he is 2 for 4 tonight. Now Stephen Hill, a native of Houston, is the pinch hitter for Boggs. Stephen's my neighbor. Well, he was until he got married and he moved. He is 1 for 5. Went to Langham Creek High School and Stephen F. Austin.
Good kid, Brian?
Yeah.
You ever TP your house or?
Never.
No? Ding dong ditch you or anything like that?
Nothing like that. Strike 1 to Stephen. And he's about to become a father, so his wife is due on Sunday. He may be having to leave the Redbirds soon. No balls, 2 strikes. Doug and Joanne were in St. Louis a couple of years ago when he got his first big league call up and hit a home run there, and they were in the stands. Great moment.
Always fun for these guys to come back home and play.
Absolutely. It's 1-2. Played for Armando Cedeno in high school. 27 now. And he can catch, play first, and other positions as well. Versatile sort. David Carpenter gets a strikeout. That's out number 1 here in the 9th.
He didn't see that slider well at all from Carp.
It's 1 down for Carp, a converted catcher. Astros live post game coming up next. It's Tony Cruz batting. He's 1 for 3. In the dirt for ball 1. We just got a comprehensive release on the Astros activity in the draft to this point. They have made 16 selections so far. Out of the scheduled 40 rounds, they will make 41 choices. Final day of the draft resumes tomorrow beginning at 11 Central Time. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The kid they got in the 3rd round, the pitcher from Arizona, is actually a local kid. Pitched out at Lamar Consolidated in Richmond.
Brady Rogers?
Yeah, before heading over to Arizona State.
They've selected so far 4 right-handed pitchers, 3 lefty pitchers, 4 infielders, 4 outfielders, and 1 catcher.
What, no DH? Who's going to DH?
Oh, they'll get somebody to DH. You don't draft DHs.
He's a one-tool player. We'll take him.
Up the middle and into center field. 2 men on with 1 out. And it's Chambers next. Chris Maloney, the coach at first, used to manage in the Astros system. That's 10 hits for the Redbirds. And Chambers grounded out earlier against Wesley Wright in the 7th inning. It's Nolan Fontana, who is the 2nd round pick, the shortstop from the University of Florida. Sounds as if he could be a guy who could arrive pretty quickly in the majors. In the air to center. Austin Maxwell tracking it way back, and it's off the wall. Kicks back behind him. That'll score Adams. And in fact, it's a 2-run triple for Chambers. It's 9-6. Cruz coming in behind Adams as the Redbirds rally here in the 9th inning.
Much as they did in the 3rd inning when the Astros had a comfortable lead, all of a sudden it became a little uncomfortable. So they do here in the 9th. And Maxwell just a little bit shy of running that one down. Chambers can really scoot. Eases on into 3rd base. Snyder to the mound to chat with Carpenter, primarily to buy time for Brett Myers to start to get ready.
That's right, because if Furcal reaches, the potential tying run would be at the plate, and usually that's closer time. Furcal is 0 for 4. He reached on an error and he scored. This Nolan Fontana, 20 years old, from the University of Florida, has been a starting shortstop for the Gators since he was a freshman. Left-handed batter, 5'11", 192. Now Brad Mills is coming out. Is there ever a chance that he could be in the big leagues before the top pick, Carlos Correa, who's 17?
Maybe Mills is going to go ahead and make the move now.
Ryan O'Nora out to hasten things along. Well, he's bought some time, and Brett Myers is coming in. 9-6 ball game. Furcal will be the batter, and Myers is coming in. Back in a moment. And the Astros go with their closer, Brett Myers, who's 13 for 14 in saves.
Amazing how quickly that happens. It's a 9-4 game, and all of a sudden it's a tense, tight situation. Maybe. Myers been really good this year. 13 saves and 14 tries.
This will be a save situation with the potential tying run on deck.
That was 13th save on Sunday. One quick inning with a punch out.
Carlos Beltran is out in the on-deck circle. Descalzo is due up next. For call, 241 lifetime against Brett Myers is the batter. Runner at third and one out. With ball one to Furcal. So there's every chance that Beltran will come to the plate, which makes this an important confrontation. 1-1. Myers has a save in his only outing against St. Louis this year. It's 2 balls and a strike for Brett. Picked up his most recent save against Cincinnati on Sunday. That was a 5-3 game. And he had a very quick 1-2-3 inning. It's 3-1.
Yeah, he usually throws a high percentage of strikes. Right now having a hard time finding the strike zone with Furcal.
All the way. Furcal looks at strike 2. In Myers' career, he has 34 saves and 38 opportunities. Fly ball, right field corner. Bogusevic running back. This ball is hit off the foul pole for a 2-run homer. And it is 9-8. Furcal with number 5 of the season.
That is the first earned run that Brett Myers has allowed in this ballpark this year.
26 runs batted in for Furcal.
3-2 is trying to go in on him a little bit with a slider, and Furcal gets that front side cleared out, and he too goes off the foul pole. Sorry folks, no chicken. Only when the home team does it.
And now it's Carlos Beltran pinch hitting for Descalzo. Popping it up. It's Johnson with the catch. The fans love that. They were booing Carlos Beltran, the former Astro. It's 2 outs now. And Holiday the bat. And another guy who can tie this game with one swing. Holiday with 10 home runs. Tied for third on the Cardinal club, or tied for second in the Cardinal club. 7 for 21 with 2 bombs against Myers. And ball one. He is 0 for 4 with an RBI in this game. The Redbirds have come storming back with 4 in the ninth. It's 2-0. David Carpenter in 1/3 of an inning, allowing 3 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. That's a big call.
Boy. Oh, borderline pitch there, and that went Myers' way. He didn't want to give in on 2-0, threw a little slider off the outside corner, and Brian O'Nora called the strike.
Big call. A curve strike 2.
Knocks him up with a good tight breaking ball.
Eduardo Sanchez warming up. Now 3-2.
The question is, does he double up in there, trying to tie him up with a 3-2 fastball? Risk walking him, putting the tying run on base. If not, he'll probably go back with the breaking ball.
And a walk. Holiday's aboard, and it's Craig batting. Craig 2 for 4. Singled his first 2 times to the plate. We get a pinch runner at first. Tyler Green for Holiday.
There's only Yadier Molina on the bench for Mike Matheny.
One to Craig. The 8th Cardinal to bat here in the 9th inning. Craig missed 14 games with a hamstring strain. He was 1 for 4 against Myers. Curve. Strike 2. That gives Myers some options. Redbirds were down 6-1. They were down 9-4. And now they trail 9-8. Tampa shortstop Lowry. Pruned it. And the Astros hold off the Cardinals, who hung a 4 spot on them in the 9th inning. But it's Houston winning for the 2nd straight game at home. Bogusevic with a long homer, and the Astros, as it turned out, needed all 9 of those runs. And Maxwell provided 2 with his home run. Final score, Astros 9, Cardinals 8.